Okay, so if we name a radius, we could say that's what?
I got this one. XB.
All right. Name a chord.
BC.
Now, remember, chord cannot be a line. Does everybody agree with that? All right, just to refresh your memory. AC would be considered a what? Secant. All right, BD would be the what? BD would be the tangent because it touches at a single point. Okay, so BC is a chord. Also, BA could be a chord, correct? AC could be a chord. All right, if it's talking about the segment. All right. The tangent then, of course, we would say is what now? BD, and again, it is the what though? The line. Okay, it's the line. All right. The wheels on Elliot's truck have a circumference of 22 inches. Determine the radius. Remember, circumference is equal to 2 pi r, correct? Anybody have any trouble agreeing G? Anybody? In circle OC, I think that's, I don't know what happened. I'm sure that's the arc. All right, measure of arc AB is 72. Find BCD. What is 108, correct? All right, that's a central angle. All right, central angle, that means this is 72 degrees also. Again, I don't know what happened, all right, here, but this won't happen on the test. Find the length of arc PQ. All right, now, the length is that formula where it's a fractional part of the circumference, right? So arc is equal to 2 pi r times n out of 360. Is everybody good with that? Right, does everybody remember? The arc length is just a fractional part of the circumference. So what's my answer for number 26? Is everybody agreeing it's H? All right.
This is for a different question, but if there's a right triangle whose hypotenuse is 5, does that automatically make the legs 3 and 4?
If what?
If there's a right triangle whose hypotenuse is 5, does that automatically make the legs 3 and 4?
No, because right, if you draw it right here, correct? If that stays the same, right? Now, do you agree it could be a 45, 45, 90, right? Or you could make it, right? So these can vary, the A and the B, right? It's just, think of it this way. It's just A squared plus B squared has to equal what? Has to equal 25. Does that make sense? Right, so the legs can be lots of different things, right? Okay. So on 27, so CF, if OF is 4, AB is 12, what's true about CD? It's 12, so then OF must be what? OE is 4, OF is 4, I'm sorry. So what is CF? 6, great. Anybody have any questions with that? Find the radius of a circle if a 48-meter chord is 7 meters from the center. This one might be a little bit tricky. What is it? Yeah, it's 25. All right. Now, just in case you kind of forgot, if you draw a circle, right, you make a chord, right, and draw this from the center to the chord, it makes it perpendicular, correct? So if this is 7, that makes that 24. And then you want the radius. So it's just the triples, 7, 24, 25. Everybody okay with that? Everybody's good? All right. So measure of angle ABC. What do we got? 70. Everybody okay with that? Right, because again, 120 plus 100 is 220, which makes this 140, and then the inscribed is half the arc. Angle X is 126, so angle Z is going to have to be what? Inscribed angles of a quadrilateral are opposite angles of an inscribed quadrilateral are supplementary. All right. Okay, now here you have to know that from here to here is how much? So this is what? 8. So then X is what? 8. Yeah, guys, it's kind of easy. All right, finding X. X is what? The average of the arcs, correct? So 122 plus 68 divided by 2 is equal to, what is that? 95. Thank you. All right, now here, you're just doing what? Yeah, I'm sorry about this, guys. I didn't realize that. Those are all, I don't know what happened on the translation. So they want this arc right here, correct? So we're just going to say, yeah, thank you. So what is it? Everybody okay with that being 80? All right, now it's on the outside, correct? So now it's just going to be what? 96 minus the unknown divided by 2 equals 20. Everybody agree with that? So now we know it's what? I think it's 56. Everybody's good? And angle H, of course, then would be what? 34. The radius here is what? 17. What's the center? Right, so everybody do me a favor. X minus H squared plus Y minus K squared equals R squared. Everybody good with that? And remember, the center is considered H and K, and R is equal to the radius. Anybody have any problems with that? Okay, so because the center is 0, 0, it can't be C, correct? So correct answer is what? B. So for 38, what's the center of the circle? 3, negative 2. And the radius is what? 2. Is that right? H? Oh, yeah. Thank you. No, it's blindness. 3, negative 2. Thank you very much, Kate Mitchell. All right. Anybody have any? Yes, ma'am. Let's look at 35 again real quick. Remember, angle H, this angle's on the outside. So it's the difference. 100 minus 32 divided by 2 is equal to X. Right? The angle is on the outside of the circle, so it's subtraction. If the angle's on the inside, it's addition. All right, chapter 10. All right, I think it really would be a good idea to do some of this. All right. And then on Thursday, we can finish up. All right. So we'll have on Friday, 10 and 11. All right. So area of a parallelogram. What's the formula for area of a parallelogram? Come on, guys. Base times height, correct? So in this case, I'm looking for the height, which is obviously what? 6. Everybody good with that? Because it's a 45, 45, 90. If I wanted to find what WX is, everybody should write 6 radical 2. So now the area is just what? 6 times 7.5, which is, I believe, 45. Anybody have any questions with that? Okay, area of a trapezoid. Area is equal to the average of the bases. 12.5 times, or I'm not sorry, times what? Plus 21 times the height, which is 5. So what do we get for that? Is it 83.8, guys? 83.8. Okay, area of a kite is equal to 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So we have just what?
Oh,
Yeah, does everybody agree? 19. All right, strictly formula based. Is there any difference in the formula for the rhombus than the kite? No. All right. So half the diagonals. All right, half the product of the diagonals. Right, so it's really going to be half of what? 10 times 11.2. Agreed? But half of 10 was back to 5. So it's just 5 times 11.2, which is 56. Everybody okay with that? The height of a parallelogram is 6 feet more than its base if the area of the parallelogram is 160. Now, again, you can kind of work backwards on this one, but let's just do the algebra just to make sure. Area is equal to base times height. So 160 is equal to, if the height is 6 more than the base, so base times base plus 6. Does everybody agree with that? And so now we have b squared plus 6b minus 160 equals 0. And then that factor's agreed. What does that factor to, guys? 10 and 16, correct? Thank you very much. And the 16 would be what? And the b would be, or the, yeah. So the base could be 10 or the base could be negative 16. Is it possible for the base to be negative? No, so the only answer is base is 10. All right, and we always have to check because they could have asked for the height, correct? So make sure you go back on the test and double check, make sure you answer the right question. Okay, the area of a regular octagon. All right, so in an octagon, let's talk about it just to refresh. Area equals, if we draw an octagon, how many triangles are there? 8, so it's going to be 8 times 1/2 base times height. Everybody okay with that? All right, so now what is the what is 8 times the base called? That's called the perimeter, right? So I'm doing half of 96. Now I have to figure out what the height is, correct? Never mind. Let's just, I see some puzzled looks, so I'm not going to do it that way. All right, let's just draw out an octagon. Obviously, I'm not drawing the whole octagon. I'm just drawing this. So each side of the octagon is how much? 12, right? 96 divided by 8 is 12. So this is 12. All right, now to find the height, all right, we have to do 360 divided by 8, which is 45. Does everybody agree with that? And then half of 45. So this angle right there is 22.5 degrees. Everybody good with that? So that makes this length right here 6. And I'm interested in finding the height. So now what trig function am I using? So we got tangent of 22.5 is equal to 8 or 6 over h. Everybody happy with that? So then h is equal to 6 divided by the tangent of 22.5. And what's 6 divided by the tangent of 22.5? How much?
14.485.
Thank you so much. 14.485 is the height. Now we go back to our problem here. And so now I want everybody to type in their calculator 8 times 0.5 times 12 times the answer that's on your calculator. And what does that come up to be?
695.
So F. Is everybody okay with that being F? All right, it's been a while since we've done that, but hopefully that's one of those things where we don't really have to memorize the formula or anything because we just know to break it down into triangles. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, find the area of an equilateral triangle whose side length is 14 inches. So if we draw an equilateral triangle, all right, we know 14, 14. So somebody tell me what the height is. 7 radical 3, perfect. All right, so now area equals 1/2. What's the base? 14, what's the height? Thank you very much. 1/2, 14 times 7 radical 3. So everybody do that and tell me what the answer is. What do we got? Is everybody happy with 84.9? Everybody good with 84.9? All right, find the lateral area. All right, so the lateral area is just the area of the sides, correct? So in this cylinder, all right, the cylinder, the lateral area is the circumference times the height. Does everybody remember that? Circumference times the height. Anybody have any issues with that? So the circumference is going to be what? 4 pi. What's the height? 4. So to me, that looks like what? 50.3, is that right? Was that accurate? 50.3 is good. Okay, so now we need the surface area, right? So if I want the surface area, I just include the two what? Yeah, but how many bases are there? 2. So I need everybody to type in 50.3 plus 2 times pi times 2 squared. And what do we got for that? How much? 75.4. Anybody have any questions? All right, let's just keep going. Find the area of the circle with the circumference 20 pi. Well, if the circumference is 20 pi, that means the radius is what? 10. And so the area is pi r squared. So we're at what? 100 pi. Everybody's good about that? The sector, remember, area of a sector equals pi r squared times n over 360. Everybody good with that? So again, the radius is what? So I have pi times 25 squared times what? 70 out of, thank you. So everybody type that on your calculator, pi times 25 squared times 70 divided by 360. 381.8. Everybody in agreement on that? Okay, the area of this figure is the area of the rectangle minus what? Yes. So area equals 4 times 9 minus 1/2 pi. What's the radius? 2 squared. Thank you. I need help with that. How much?
23.4.
I think it's h. I think you forgot half pi r squared.
Oh, I do.
You with me on that? I think you forgot half on that. All right. So you guys know, I'm hoping you're seeing it's just, do you know the information? Nothing really hard. All right. You got to know the formulas, plug the numbers in. You got to be careful. Simple. Nothing. All right. All right, here we go. Find the area of the quadrilateral. So to me, it just looks like two triangles. Does everybody agree with that? Right. Two triangles. So the first one I'm looking at is this guy right here. And so that's just area equals 1/2 times 10 times 18, correct? And then the other one is area equals 1/2 times 16 times 8. You just add those together. Is everybody agreeing?
154.
Everybody happy with 154? If the triangles are similar, then the ratio of the areas. All right. So to me, again, let's check this on your calculator, 96 to 34. And then what do I do to 96 over 34? Take the square root of it, right? And that's going to give you the ratio of the sides, right? Now, that's why I like to do the large over the small, right? Because I'm trying to find x, which is what? Bigger. So I know I just take 10 and multiply it by whatever answer you got. And what's that? Now, a lot of people have trouble with that, guys. So I just want to make sure everybody's hearing me on that. Anybody have any questions with 52? For some reason, kids find that hard. Does anybody have any questions? The ratio of the areas, right? And then you take the square root, that gives you the ratio of the sides. And we want the bigger sides, we multiply. If we wanted the smaller side, we'd do what? Divide. All right. So same principle here. All right, 24 over 8 is the ratio of the sides, correct? So that's 3 to 1, correct? So 3 squared is what? 9. So 384 divided by 9. And what's 384 divided by 9? Yeah, 42.7. Everybody okay with that? All right, and 54. Okay, so we just have a square inside a circle. Well, that's not going to work. All right. The distance from the center to its edge is 5.3. Now, the center to the edge, which way should I go? Yeah, to the corner, right? Because that relates the circle with the square. So if I go all the way this way, does everybody see what I'm getting at? So the diameter is what? Is everybody with me? That's 10.6. Everybody agree? Find the area of the pendant that is not covered by the ruby, right? So we just want this area. Does everybody agree? So it's the area of the circle minus the area of the square, correct? Now, again, a lot of people forgot how to find this. How do I find this? What do I do?
Just a 45, 45.
Yeah, it's a 45, 40.
Radical two.
Yep, just divide by radical 2. Thank you very much. So 10.6 divided by radical 2 is the area or the side length of the square. So now we want the area of the circle, which is pi r squared minus the area of the square, side squared. Everybody agreeing with me? Okay, so the radius is 5.3. Times pi minus, and then this was 10.6. Oh my goodness. 10.6 divided by the square root of 2 squared. Oh, so somebody help me. Tell me what that is.
Area of the circle is 88.24. The square is 56.
So what's my final answer? Anybody else get 32.07? Right. All right, that wasn't too bad, correct? Okay, so last one for today. What's the radius of the circle? 5, right? Now, there's lots of ways you could think about this, right? But I want you to know the area, if all of this was shaded, would simply be the area of the circle minus the area of the pentagon, correct? But I don't want that whole thing. I just want what? 2 out of what? 2/5. Does everybody agree with that? So to me, it was easy if you just write the formula. Area of that region is 2/5. And then the area of the circle minus the area of the pentagon. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Sorry about my pen acting up. So we have 2/5 times. All right, now we're going with pi. What's the radius? 5 squared. Is everybody happy with that? Minus. All right, now this is 5 here, correct? And this is 5 here, correct? Now listen, I know we did in this chapter, I'm pretty sure we did. Does everybody remember the area of a triangle could be area equals 1/2 AB sine C? All right, but look how helpful it is. Look how helpful it is on these problems. Please take a look. All right, because if you know that formula, you don't have to do any trig, correct? Because what's 360 divided by 5? So this angle right here is 72 degrees. Is everybody with me? So again, this is a super helpful formula to find the area of a triangle when you have side angle side. Is everybody with me on that? All right. Now, if you want, you could calculate the height by using some trig. Do we agree? But I had forgotten about this. All right. So that's really helpful. All right. So minus, we could say 1/2 5 times 5 times the sine of 72. And everybody just type that in on your calculator. And I'm leaving that up to you. As soon as somebody has it, it'd be nice. Just tell me. I don't care. Go ahead, Nate. Approximately what? Mary, what'd you get? What did you get?
21.905.
Anybody else get somewhere around there? 21.905. Gosh.
That's what the one is.
The second part by 5, because it's 5 times.
Oh, thank you. You're right. All right, I just found the area of what?
100.
I found the area of one triangle. Does everybody agree with me? So this, thank you, Lucas, and whoever else knew that. I need to multiply by another 5 because there's 5 triangles. So go back in your calculator. You don't have to retype everything over. You can just insert a 5 if you know how to do that. Thank you. That was important.
Negative.
7.6 now. Is that right? 7.6. 7.6. Thank you. It's not letting me write anymore. All right, try one more time. What is it? 7.6
Units.
units squared. All right, so that was good for today, guys. All right, so now we just have chapter 11 to do on Thursday. All right, and hopefully you realize, guys, you have to know the formulas, correct? That's essentially what it boils down to. Know the formulas. All right, what?
What are we doing tomorrow?
We're having a test
Oh, yeah, you're right.
exam on 8 and 9, and on Friday we have it on 10 and 11.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
I think it won't be here Friday.
Well, I mean, you just have to take it on Monday.
All right.
All right, that's all I have to do. All right, guys, thank you very much. Good job.